David Riggs, thank you for joining my podcast.
You are welcome. I'm excited.
You know, David, I get to meet so many interesting people in my work, and you're one of them. So I'd love the opportunity to let other people, my listeners, get to know a little about you and your experience with me because you signed up to do this roadmap process that I do.
I
And
did. We'll do the quick and efficient overview. So, you and I got connected after I had sold my most recent company, NUMA. It was a marketing agency. I had started that, built it up. It kind of hit my own goals, which I'm sure we'll talk about, and felt like something was missing maybe at the tail end of it. So, um, excited to chat with you, and I think it was a great decision, as we'll get into. But went from building, scaling, and selling a marketing agency, and now do really turnarounds from a private equity sense. So we try and go out and find really messy, ugly, kind of forgotten businesses, the ones that maybe have only a few months left to live. Put a cash investment in and see if we can't turn it around and make something great of it. So I've been doing that on the side and then the full time probably for about a year and a half now, and it's been rewarding and quite a bit of fun.
so, what's an example of not the name of it necessarily, but type of company that was on its last legs and you stepped in?
Yeah, the majority of them have been professional services firms, B2B specifically. So think accounting firm, think marketing agencies as well, think consulting and coaching firms. One that I've been pretty open about that I've had quite a bit of fun with, ironically, was a gym and a health clinic. And that one was maybe 3 to 6 months away from closing, but we weren't looking great and decided to jump in just over 2 years ago. And actually, today we got if you're familiar with Inc., we were placed number two fastest growing company in the Rocky Mountain region, and then number one in Denver. So that it's been a fun 2 years, and maybe a nice reminder that the path I'm on is the right one. So I've been
You,
having a lot of fun with it, and it's cool to see the company have that success as well in such a short time.
you got to be kidding. You're able to do that, huh?
Yeah, it's fun. It's good. Everyone told me not to get a gym, and I understand why. They're not easy. I think a marketing agency is much easier, but gym, health clinic, recovery center, it's been fulfilling. It's cool to help people live healthier lives, which is really the underlying mission. But there's a lot more to a gym than what scratches the eye, and I've learned that. So both the good and the bad of it. So I'll take it.
So, David, the premise of the roadmap is that everybody has a unique gift, almost like a fingerprint, or we call it a superpower. And most people have no idea what their superpower is because we've all been doing the things somebody thought we should do or the things we thought we had to do to pay the bills or and so we've kind of gotten dull to what's most unique about us. And the roadmap's a way to try to figure out what that is and then to get your life more aligned with it. What what is your secret to being able to do this, to find a company that's in distress on its last legs and fix it? What's unique about you?
It's a great question. I think the thing that I learned through the roadmap, and I've told many people this, I like your usage of the word "dole" to the things that we're really good at. Uh, in building Numa, a company bootstrapped all the way to an exit event, you do a little bit of everything. You do marketing, you do sales, you do customer success, you do some ops, some HR, some finance, probably some tech somewhere in there, and then you probably do some of the delivery work, some of the project management. You end up wearing, 9 different hats, as everybody jokes about. I learned that I can do all of them, and to me, I thought that was it. If I can do them, then I should enjoy it if I could do it, and maybe if I don't enjoy it, so be it. That's what I'm supposed to do because I'm running the company. And I think after Numa, and really before I decided on the next direction with full time focus, I'll say, right. Uh, I realized that there's stuff that I can do and stuff that I enjoy, and I think Roadmap especially helped me put into a frame of reference of what I'm doing now. Not only am I good at, but I enjoy. And one of my favorite things to do is walk in to a messy business where $250,000 in debt. We have people quitting left and right. Clients are upset. can't figure out how to log into the bank account, ads aren't running, we're owed this money, we owe this other money over here. It's like you walk into a house, or if you've ever seen the meme of like the building's on fire and somebody's standing in the right in the middle of it. I like that. And I think I learned through the process with you and some of the older experiences as well, what fun it is to walk into an experience like that and feel like I have an edge or an advantage to stay calm, see through all the chaos, and say, we're going to do this first, second, and third. We're going to get out of the hole. We're going to stop the bleeding, and then we're going to turn things around and really grow it. So when you said the word dole, I laughed because that's always felt like strength to me. But I thought everybody did that. And I've learned that maybe not everybody is, and maybe that's the exact skill set that I have. That is my fingerprint, my unique part of things. So I think working with you, not only realizing that, but then maybe the boost of confidence to go after that with a full time focus really changed things for me and gave me the confidence to pursue it fully. But truly, nothing's more fun than walking into the messiest of messy environments where nobody wants to touch it and finding some roadmap and path out of it, not only to save jobs, but to save that impact of the company as well.
Now, what's your educational background?
Financial economics was my major, and then I was a rhetoric minor. So think public speaking, argumentation. Yeah, an interesting combination. I like to talk a lot about numbers, is what that would say about me, but a good combination at that.
So, your education allows you insight into which of these distressed companies has a chance and which ones don't. Is that right?
I think that's a fair thing. I think every company, whenever we're thinking about taking a deal down or investing or even advising and helping a company get out of a certain situation, I like to say with my major and minor, and then a lot of the practice that I've had in the real world with NUMA, the P&L will always tell a story, but the company also has to tell a story as well. So I always start with the subjective and the objective, right? So I want to see the hard numbers, where the cash is, how much money we've made, how much money we've lost. That tells a story. You can give me some insight, but I can glean a lot from just looking at the raw numbers and the objective truth of where the business has been. But then there's always a subjective truth to that, right? Why are we losing money? Why are we making more money and we don't know where it's coming from? Why are people leaving? And I think piecing those two together is quite enjoyable. I think too many times the people who would be, garnering to take down the same deals as me, they're one or the other. They want to focus on the reason why and never look at the objective, or they're just spreadsheet jockeys and they just want to look at the spreadsheets time and time again. And they don't really care about the reason why, because to them, a business is just a spreadsheet. So a unique major paired with some unique experiences, it's fun to look at business from both sides of the coin and try and find the happy medium through whatever issue we're facing.
Now, one of the things as I got to know you, I discovered about you is that you're unique in your ability to assess companies. I mean, not maybe the only one in the world, but you have a special gift at figuring out if there's value and what the value is and what the value could be turned into. That comes naturally to you, doesn't it?
It does. And yeah, like I said, I didn't know that before working with you. And I think, hindsight's always 20, but piecing together old instances, old outcomes, old businesses, it makes sense.
Hi, everybody. Hey, I've discovered that there are only two ways people try to create success for themselves in their lives. The first way is probably the most popular way, which is I'm going to find somebody who I see as successful and I'm going to try to be like them. I'm going to study their life. I'm going to eat what they eat. I'm going to read their books and I'm going to practice being like them. The only problem with trying to be somebody you're not is that it's impossible to do. And sooner or later, you just fall short or give up. You just can't do it. The second way to create success is to double down on discovering who you are. Everybody is amazingly unique and has been given a gift to live life that can be very powerful if you discover it and develop it. And that's what I do. I work with people not who want to be like somebody else, who want to figure out who they are and align their life with who they are. If that's you, give me a call. I'd be happy to talk to you and discover if you're the kind of person I can help. Thank you so much. Now, I also gave you some personality tests, didn't I?
You did.
And you were high on one scale. I don't know if you want me to say the label of that scale or not.
No, you can go for it. I think it's a good conversation.
So you were high on the narcissistic scale.
Yep.
That scares a lot of people when they hear that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I rolled up to the next call and said, "Is that a good thing or a bad thing?" Yeah, I mean, I had a working definition of it before I met you, and definitely have a working definition of it after I met you.
Well, one of the things it means about you is you believe you can do almost anything you set your mind on.
Sounds about right.
I mean, you exude tremendous confidence, and that confidence is part of the package that allows you to do what very few people might be willing to do. Take the kind of bets that you're willing to take.
Definitely. It's funny we're having this conversation. I had a conversation today with one of the portfolio companies. They are another one on the doorstep. I think we got about 2.5 months of runway, and we're rolling out some things this week to try and combat that. Um, we're having decision fatigue, or at least the founder is. So many different options, and maybe it's some of that confidence coming through. But hey, whichever one we choose, whichever direction we choose, whichever one that we choose, and take all of our confidence to run full speed ahead at, we'll probably do just fine. It's the ones
Yeah.
where you sit right in the middle, and you're not sure which way to go, and you kind of stumble around and take a few different paths. It's not that you chose the wrong one; you just didn't attack any of them correctly. So, if we're going to do something, we're going to go full speed, and I think that de-risks the decision more than the decision itself.
And a third leg on this stool is you have a lot of charisma. You just have a way with people, don't you?
I've learned that, yeah.
And how does that play into your success?
uh, yeah, so this maybe comes back to a little bit of financial economics, but the thing that always annoyed me, I should say, about learning about financial economics, and at least the economics part in college, is that every economics textbook assumes that the person that they're dealing with is rational. And
Mm.
no one in this world is rational. If we're all rational, we wouldn't have any problems and it'd be pretty darn boring. Humans spice things up. We all got our own wants and needs. And if economics thinks that somebody's going to be rational, I think as a business owner, I should assume that they're going to be the most irrational version of themselves. Business is easy if it's done on a spreadsheet, right? And I think that's the funny thing about the world I play in now. A lot of spreadsheet pros that can build a really good business, but when push comes to shove and they have an employee call them in tears, or tears of happiness or tears of joy, the spreadsheet doesn't account for that. If they have
Yeah.
an employee that wants a raise or is really upset about the raise that somebody else got, again, a spreadsheet doesn't account for that. So, all business acumen put aside, the simplest way that I can always talk about business is one, you fundamentally have a way to solve a problem at scale for a group of people. Okay, if you check that box off, to do it at scale means you got to have a lot of people on your team as well. The easiest skill set I've learned to make business easier is how to talk to an individual, how to understand their goals, and how to build a relationship with them. I don't have to be best friends with any of the people that work with me. And I think there's some advantages not to be, but when push comes to shove, I want somebody to have the ability to pick up the phone, call me, let's talk about the hard problem we're facing, and really have that relationship to allow it. And again, I could spreadsheet people to death. I love a good spreadsheet. I love a good financial model. But in the real world, whenever you do business, I think it shocked me, and I'm sure it shocked others. You do the spreadsheet thing once, and then you go back to managing the people, building people, investing in people. And the more that you can do that, the more that you can build the relationships, the better the business is. But people are at the heart and soul of every business out there, and the ones that win end up doing quite a good job with developing their people, investing in the people, and making it feel like a part of their identity, which is good.
People like working for you and with you, don't they?
That's what I've been told. Yeah,
Yes, they feel understood. They feel treated with respect and fairly. The last leg on the stool that I learned about you is that you're a spiritual man.
I am.
You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, it's we could go for hours, but I think the story that I think fits here. I grew up in a very faith-based household, and it wasn't until college that I think I really had the opportunity and choice to choose differently. I could take my life in a number of different directions. I chose faith and stayed with faith, and yeah, I think one thing that came true when working with you, and I think it was the timing of it as well. Uh, there's a way to involve faith in business that I had never really thought of.
Hmm.
right. There's some entrepreneurs in the Bible. We could have that conversation. I think it'd be quite a fun one at that. There's very eclectic individuals in the Bible as well. Nobody runs a marketing agency in the Bible, right? So I think my brain immediately said, Bible's for personal, for faith, how I treat people. I got to go figure out the playbook for work. And the longer that I ran NUMA, and the more I ran NUMA, and even after selling, it was funny how much faith worked its way in there, and I didn't realize it, and how much more that I brought faith into the environment now that I work in. Um, it's an interesting component, and I think it's the one quote unquote battlefield that many believers put off to the side. They don't talk about it. It's easy to talk
Mhm.
about faith with friends, family, personal life, but I'll never bring that to work. Uh, and while we don't do it in such an abrasive way, there's definitely ways to bring in a faith based environment to the working culture that we have. And I think that's a big reason why people like working for maybe me directly or any one of the portfolio companies. There's a standard and way that we do things that almost every one of those values have been derived from a faith based principle.
Wow.
And it's interesting seeing the impact of that, but also seeing how people respond to that as well. Um, I've jokingly said, and I have continued to say even now, uh, I could give you a list of tactical business books. I got a whole bookshelf of them up above me. Some are good at solving very specific problems, but nothing has beat Proverbs and Psalms when I'm in the middle of something of,
Mhm.
that makes a lot more sense. Exodus has some really good biblical leadership principles as well. So, while I can give you tactical business books, I'd say the Bible might be the best one that I've read.
David, I don't know if you want to answer this, but are you working because you need more money?
Not anymore. No, I don't mind answering that at all, and I think it's a fair question. I talk about this a lot, and it's funny. We haven't had this conversation in a bit, and I think my stance on it is really tightened up from what we had talked about. But when I set out to build Numa, I told myself I was going to build or pick, I should say, the biggest and scariest goal that I could think of. And for me, at I think the age of 22, 23, it was retire by 30. And with a finance degree, it's pretty easy to figure out what number you need in an account. So I put all that number together, put the spreadsheet together, built it when I was 22 and said, all right, I got to go hit X million. That's the number I got to hit. I went to work. I hit the goal. Uh, I've never been one not to hit goals, but I've probably been one to rush some goals. And I think it's unique. The more and more I've sat with that, I wish I would have thought maybe a little differently about maybe that goal and the impact of it. And I'll share more in a second. But chasing down that goal, hitting it only to feel a little lackluster at the end, even being a person of faith, I think I missed the onus on that one a bit. That taught me just as much as maybe missing the goal would have as well. But now I could turn everything off. I could throw the computer away, throw the phone away. And I did that for 3, 4 months after I sold. And for a month, I felt awesome. I felt like, you use the analogy king. I felt like a king on top of a world. I was doing whatever I wanted, woke up whenever I wanted, was outside hiking whenever I wanted, eat whatever food I wanted. And man, that wears off real quick. I had no purpose, no passion, nothing to really pull me out of bed. I was just whatever way the world wanted to take me that day is what I was going to get myself into. All good things, nothing bad, but it was just I was wavering, wafting. There wasn't much purpose behind anything, and once a purpose started to be brought back to my life, and I think you challenged me in a myriad of ways to find that purpose and chase it down. Life changed, and life got a little bit more vibrant. I'd say the color got back to it a bit. Uh, it's just funny that thing that I think the world will tell you to go chase down. And this is both a faith comment and a money and a purpose comment. It's not all that enticing and all that rewarding. And it's funny. I knew that. I've read plenty of books, heard plenty of people say that, but it is another thing to experience and be in that same spot.
Yes.
And now with what we have working, the portfolio has made more revenue than I've ever made in my life. There's more profit off the back end. There's more that we can turn around and give away. The focus has truly become 100% impact because I've taken that segment or variable off the table. And the unique part is once I take it off the table, there's more of it than I know what to deal with, which is a very unique outcome as well. So, yeah, I talk a lot about that. I think there are plenty of 22-year-olds in the same spot that I was then that are chasing it. In some regards, I could say don't chase it. In other regards, chase it and come to the same conclusion that I did because that's the only way I learned about it.
David, you're a delightful human being. Thanks for being on my program.
I appreciate it. Uh, truly enjoyed our work together, and I was excited whenever the offer came by. Of like, I get to brag a bit on you, but get to share a bit about the experience, and it was an impactful part of, I'd really say, the next chapter of what I'm working myself into.
And I get to brag a bit about you.
That's the goal.
Take care, my friend.
Thank you, Jack.
Bye.